Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin. This video is going to be everything that you need to know before coming to Vietnam. This video is going to go over visa, money, transportation, food, coffee, how long to stay. I've been living in Vietnam for 8 years. I know my way around a bit, and I've seen a lot of mistakes that people have made when they're coming over to visit. Such as not getting a visa before you come, because a lot of people don't know that you do need a visa to visit Vietnam. Before we get into the visa stuff though, I'm Justin and I love living in Vietnam and exploring Vietnam and exploring Asia. If you like that kind of stuff, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Now the first big mistake people make is before they even get here is they don't sign up for a visa. A lot of people think that it's like Thailand or Japan or all these other places where you can just do visa on arrival, but Vietnam's not like that. Easiest way to do this is get an e-visa. You go to the website and you're gonna have to do some paperwork, upload some photos of your passport type photos with your little mugshot looking face, and pay some fees to get your e-visa. Fees are $25 for single entry and $50 for a multiple entry. This is going to be valid for up to 90 days. There's also visa on arrival. This is a little bit different because it's not exactly visa on arrival. You do have to plan beforehand and get a letter. You have to go to some sort of travel agent to get a letter of invitation that then you're gonna arrive to the airport and you're gonna go to the visa on arrival desk, give them that letter, and then you kind of do the same thing and pay your fees there. This is a little more uncomfortable for some people because you go to just like it's not really an official site. You go to different websites and they'll create this letter of invitation for you, and there's not like an official site to go to. And you kind of just have to hope that these people are legit and you get there. But the top Google results should be okay. And the system's worked pretty good for most people. When you come to the airport, there'll be a little a desk at immigration that you'll go to. And at that desk, you'll hand over your passport and your passport photos, pay your fees. Same $25 for your single entry and $50 for your multiple entry. Next up, we're talking about money. In Vietnam, they use the Vietnamese dong, and the exchange rate is 26,000 Vietnamese dong per $1. The bills come in 1,000, 2,000, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, 200s, and 500s. Be careful though, because the 10 and the 200 kind of look the same, and the 20 and the 500 kind of look the same. It's pretty easy to exchange money from US dollars over to VND. You can do that at banks, gold shops, or ATMs. Banks, that's self-explanatory. Gold shops are in Ho Chi Minh City or in Vietnam, you'll find they sell gold, but they also act as money changers. And that's a good place to change over your money. And you'll be able to tell these because they have a whole bunch of gold rings and gold necklaces in the windows. Often they'll have a little sign talking about their exchange rate. And there's a lot of these located in District 1 in Ho Chi Minh City, especially around Ben Thanh Market. I don't think you need to worry too much about getting the best exchange rate. As long as you go to a place that looks a little reputable, you don't have to worry about getting ripped off. I've been to a bunch of different shops. I've been to a bunch of different money changers in my years, and I've never felt like the difference was that much to worry about, even at the airport. Now, changing your money from VND to USD is a different story. You can go to the bank and get dollars, but you're gonna have to do a bunch of paperwork and maybe show your flight tickets and your tourist visa and all this to show that it's proof that you're not being illegal with your money, because there's a lot of laws about currency exchange. You can do it, but it's pretty hard. Easiest way is to go back to those gold shops and just hand over your VND and they're gonna give you dollars. You can do it at the money changers at the airport, but those are only the money changers after security. You can't do it at the money changers before security at the airport. Another thing about money is tipping is generally not expected. Bars, coffee shops, taxis, barbershops, things like that, generally there's no tipping. You can give them a little bit of money and they'll really appreciate that and they'll enjoy it and they'll take it, but there's not the sense of guilt if you don't tip. And then when it comes to haggling, I don't think you really need to haggle unless you're at like one of those big markets like Ben Thanh Market in District 1 in Ho Chi Minh City and buying kind of a more expensive thing. I don't know, maybe something worth $50 and you might want to haggle a couple dollars off. I just don't haggle when I'm buying little things like that at the shops. I don't worry about that. That $2 to me is one thing, but the $2 to them, that's another thing. And I just, I see the price. If I'm happy, I'll just pay it and I'll go on my way. Next, we're talking about transportation. The most common way you're gonna get around in Vietnam is on a motorbike. And in Vietnam, there's 77 million bikes for 100 million people. And so the entire society is built around riding a motorbike, and it's really cool and it is a lot of fun. And the app you want to use for that is Grab. That's the Uber of Asia. It's called Grab. Great idea to download that before you come here. And you can ride around on the back of one of those little motorbikes, and it's a lot of fun. It might look dangerous, but in all the time I've lived here, I've seen remarkably few accidents. And the accidents I have seen is, somebody get bumped over, fall down, but maybe a couple scratches and they get up and they get on the bike and go about their way. And no need for the police to be involved or the ambulance. You rarely see that. The worst accidents on the motorbike is when people are traveling outside of the main city, traveling from one city to another. That's when you could get going much faster, and those kind of accidents can be much more dangerous. There is a metro in Ho Chi Minh City. It runs from Ben Thanh Market to way out to the east, but as far as tourists go and people that are just visiting Ho Chi Minh City, all you really need to know is that it goes from the Ben Thanh Market to the Opera House to Ba Son. And Ba Son is like Japantown neighborhood. If you're gonna take it, you pretty much are only gonna take it from Station 1 to Station 3. And that's the Ben Thanh Market to Ba Son. The Opera House is there in the middle, but walking from Ben Thanh Market to the Opera House, that's probably faster than going down into the metro station, getting a ticket, and riding the train over. For longer distances, flying is pretty easy and pretty cheap. Flying to any city in Vietnam is going to cost you about $100. From Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, it's going to cost about $100, and that's a 2-hour flight. So flying is pretty easy. You can also take sleeper buses, which are big buses where you get like a little sleeper pod, like a capsule hotel, where you have a little TV and some AC and some electrical outlets, maybe even a little curtain. Go ahead and take a little nap in there. Those are really easy to take, and they're all over the place. They cost around $20 to go from one city to another. And a lot of the schedules are based at night, so you'll meet up at 11 or midnight, and that way you can get your sleep. You'll sleep on your sleeper bus, wake up at your destination. Website for that is called One2Go, and that will be where you go to book those sleeper buses. Where to stay? In Ho Chi Minh City, you want to stay in District 1 or District 3, around the Win Way, Ben Thanh Market area, just because that's where everything that you want to see is going to be. That's going to have, the markets, the walking streets. Bui Vien's not far from there. You got the post office, Book Street, and that stuff. That's all kind of in the same area, and it's not too far from each other. So you want to stay in District 1, maybe District 3. If you're going to Hanoi, you want to stay near Old Quarter or Hoan Kiem Lake. That's kind of the equivalent in Hanoi. And then for Nha Trang and Da Nang, just stay on the beach. One thing I definitely recommend is if you come to Vietnam, you should definitely go to different cities because they're very different. Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are very different. They're both big cities, but they have a lot of different things going for them and a different feel. Then you've got some places like Da Nang, which is a beach town, has beaches and the mountains. And then you got something like Nha Trang, that's also a beach town. You got islands like Phu Quoc, and then you got another mountain areas like Dalat, Ninh Binh, and Sapa. You definitely don't want to stay in one city the entire time you're in Vietnam. I think a good time to be in Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang, or Hanoi be about 3 days. That's a good time frame to see everything you want to see and make the most out of your trip. Probably you want to spend 1 day in Hoi An if you go down there. And Hoi An's only 45 minutes south of Da Nang. If you're staying in Hanoi, you can take a day trip to Ha Long Bay. Another thing that people really like to do in Ha Long Bay is sleep on these cruise ships. So you'll be able to spend the night in Ha Long Bay. If you want to do Hai Giang Loop, that's kind of based out of Hanoi. And they'll pick you up there. You go up to Hai Giang Loop, and the loop takes 3 or 4 days. Next up is food. Vietnam is becoming very famous for its food, and the big dishes are going to be banh mi, and then there's pho, and another one's bun xiao, which is like a rice pancake, and then my favorite is ba ca, which is a beef stew. And you can find lots of places on TikTok and YouTube about this is the best banh mi place and this is the Michelin starred pho place. But just go and have whatever. It's all going to be really good. And you don't need to go to, the Michelin recommended places to get the best food. It's all going to be really good. Just go and try it and, have fun. Eat on the little plastic stools like Anthony Bourdain and do that. And enjoy it. Then the next thing you want to enjoy is the coffee culture. Vietnam is the second biggest coffee exporter in the world, and it shows because there is a coffee shop every 20 feet, and I'm not joking. Like there's coffee, you can get coffee everywhere. Like it's harder to find a place that doesn't sell coffee, but it's all really good. And the main coffee that you're gonna look for is Café Sữa, and that's just Vietnamese coffee with condensed milk. They put some ice in there, and it's delicious. And then if you want to get a little more, well, you definitely should get a little more experimental and try egg coffee. And that's coffee with egg in it. Couple places that you can get that is there's another famous one called Little Hanoi Egg. Very good, highly recommended. And the next one is Cafe Trung. That's another coffee shop that you'll see around. It's got this old rustic feel to it. The last one is Cafe Moi, salt coffee. If you think salt wouldn't taste good in coffee, you're wrong because it tastes delicious. My favorite place to get Cafe Moi or salt coffee is called Hue Coffee, Hue. And you can get them at other places. It's just that the salt coffee at Hue, I think they make it differently and they make it better. And besides that, there's just 1,000 awesome coffee shops all over the city that are really fun to explore and check out. So those are my tips for coming to Vietnam for the first time. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something. If you did, really appreciate a thumbs up. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. I'd love to answer them and help you out there. If you want to see more videos about living in Vietnam and exploring Asia, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video, all right? Justin out.